Reality bites. And unfortunately, last night, it bit for 6 people who died and 150 people who were injured in the Amtrak train running between Washington, D.C. and New York that derailed in Philadelphia. Now, this morning, I was listening to Congressman Mike McCall, who's the chair of the Homeland Security Committee. And the first thing out of his mouth was, this doesn't appear to be terrorist related. Really? What about congressional terrorism? You see, because as I watch the talk now about infrastructure and infrastructure funding and how we're not doing what we need to do to fund infrastructure that keeps us competitive and safe in the 21st century, they're all talking about more money. But they're all talking about how important infrastructure is. And one of the things they're talking about today, after a train derailment, is raising the federal gas tax. A little bit of a leap of logic there, but let's go with it for a second. Now, the Highway Trust Fund runs out of money at the end of May this year. We're talking 17 days from now. Neither the House nor the Senate has a vote scheduled to extend and authorize any money for the Federal Highway Trust Fund. But they say, don't worry, because we'll get something in place in time. Well, when you take a look at the track record of these congressional terrorists who have done more damage to this country than ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and Al-Shabaab combined, in the last 5 years, they've had 32 short-term extensions of the Highway Trust Fund. Apparently, that's the way they like to do business. But apparently now, the way they want to do business is to throw more money at the problem. See, the problem isn't that we understand what the problem is with regard to the derailment of the train in Philadelphia. We don't know what caused it. We don't know why it happened. But they do know what the answer is. They know the answer is more money. And all of these congressional yahoos came forward today offering their thoughts and prayers. But you see, the reaction from Congress today is typical of the reaction from Congress in most areas. In the aftermath of the massacre at Sandy Hook, when all those people were gunned down, all those kids were killed and the teachers along with them, they came forward and said, you know, what we have to do is we have to have hearings, and we have to take a look at violence in America, and we have to take a look at mental health in America, and we're going to hold hearings, and we're going to hold people accountable, and we're going to have to do something about this. The issue was mental health. It is mental health. In the last 50 years, we've shrunk over 1 million psychiatric beds in America because of supposed lack of funding. But the guy who headed up the Senate Help Committee, which is responsible for overseeing mental health issues in America, a senator from the great state of Iowa who's no longer serving the great state of Iowa, he came forward and said, we have to find more money. We have to do what we need to do. We have to address mental health issues in America. I did a little research, and I found out this very same senator who headed up this help committee, who was responsible for mental health issues in America, hadn't had a meeting in the 6 years prior to the massacre at Sandy Hook. But this is what we have. This is the reaction that we have. Their reaction is, we don't know what the problem is, but we have to do something about it. And how do they do something about it? They want to spend more money. No, what they want to do is they want to spend time on camera. They want to spend time in committee hearings. They want to spend time at fundraisers. They want to spend time with each other, but they don't want to spend time doing the heavy lifting of what needs to be done. We need infrastructure. We need roads and bridges and tunnels. We need to make sure that we're competitive in the 21st century. But when I hear these congressmen today talk about, let's rule out terrorism, you might want to take a look in the mirror, Congress, because you guys have done more damage to this country and continue to do so than all the terrorists we're supposedly supposed to be more in fear of.